Are these the eight time days, guys? Eight time signs that we all are seeing and just giving a deaf. Is there a deaf ear? A deaf ear, yes, to what we are being told. Are these the eight time signs, guys, that we are seeing happen to us in this life? Why are there floods everywhere? Why are there floods in Dubai? Why are there floods in Brazil? Why are there floods in East Africa, more especially Kenya, where I am? Why are people dying every time about with the floods, because of the floods? Why is it happening in Tanzania? And why is it also happening? Why is it happening in Tanzania, in Burundi, and also in Kenya? Why are people dying of floods? And guys, we know that sometimes we blame God because of what is happening, but this time I don't think we should blame God. It is us who have interfered with everything, and everything is happening because of our carelessness. Guys, there's one thing I want to say, that by the way, this is Never HTV, and if you are new here, you are welcome, and if you are returning, welcome back. I'm not very well because of the weather. The weather is weighing me down, and I have a cold, and you know that feeling that you're not vibrant. But this is not only me, and this is happening to so many people during this season. um it is happening to so many people, that so many people have caught a cold because of the prevailing weather, and it is just a matter of keeping yourself warm and taking a lot of vitamin C, and obviously treating your treating your cold and flu, because it is really taking people by surprise. It's a lot. Almost everybody has caught a cold in one way or another, and this is because of the rains that we have been experiencing. It's raining, guys, from morning to evening. The whole night just rains, and Kenyans have died, because I'm in Kenya, guys. Kenyans have been taken away by the floods. Their houses have been demolished. We saw the prestigious Masai Mara also gone with the waters, soaked underwater, and everything, bed sheets, you know, everything was taken by the floods, taken away by the floods, and the tourists had to be evacuated, yeah, with a helicopter, because the situation is very bad. We also saw in the slums people just drowning. As you watch, you could see somebody drown in the man-made, no, not man-made, seasonal, in the seasonal rivers in the slums, and they were so vicious that they were carrying people away, as you could see. And that's why the government went there with their bulldozers to demolish all the structures that are sitting on the riparian land, and to save lives. But guys, were they saving lives, or were they also making the situation worse? Let me tell you, guys, you tell yourself that you are saving life as a government, and you go and demolish for these people. Sometimes the only thing that these people need is that roof on top of their heads, and they live there that way because that's the way they got used to living. In fact, as you demolished and went away, they went behind you and started constructing again, because that is the only place they know, and that's where they call home. So even as the government was demolishing, I was asking myself, are they demolishing because they want to say that these people should go where? Where do they want them to go? Actually, these floods are everywhere in the country. Why did they rush to demolish for the poor person in the slums? The poor person knows how to survive in the slums. The poor person knows how to live in that situation. This person has lived there all through their lives. Now, you are clearing the riparian parts or land so that you can have these people move out of the water sources, but you did not give them any alternative accommodation. So you just demolished for them, and you left them to die in the cold. So continue picking bodies there every day, those that will have dropped and died on the streets because of the cold and the pneumonia and everything. Continue picking bodies if that is what you want, because that is what is going to happen. Actually, these floods are all over the country. Why didn't you go to the western part of the country, or to the eastern or the central part of the country, and clear the riparian land so that water flows and flows in the right direction? Why do you go to the already poor people, the poor people who are already without a shelter, without food, and you go and demolish for them? Whereas the rains are raining everywhere in the country. I know you are looking for a long-term solution, but let me tell you, there is no long-term there, because these people are going to come behind you and start reconstructing their Mabati houses. In fact, they don't care. They will just come and reconstruct them. And all they want is that roof on top of their head. They are able to sleep there, and as long as their head is covered by something. And because they are used to that kind of life. Okay, slums, what are you going to do about the slums, you as a government? What are you going to do about these slums? Are you just coming when the disaster has stricken, to just come and pretend that you are coming to save lives? Where were you before? You knew that there were people in the slums. Why were you not constructing houses for them? What do you mean coming to invade their homes now, to demolish with a bulldozer when it is already raining, and you are not helping? You are not helping. You as the government, I don't think you are helping them in any way. And I think you should leave them alone. Let them be. In fact, even in the central, the Rift Valley, the western and the eastern part of the countries, including the northern part of the country and the coast, there's nobody who can do anything about the slums, the floods that are there at the moment, because there's nothing you can do about these floods. It is only God who is going to come and stop the rains. And that is why we went to church, all of us, and prayed that the Lord may remember mercy and cease the waters and stop the rains, because that is all we can pray. Otherwise, there is nothing you are doing. It's just a waste. It's just a matter of hurting and adding insult to injury, because actually these people are crying, angry, and homeless again, because you have gone to demolish. Are you telling me that now that you have demolished, that it is not going to flood anymore in Nairobi? Because you have demolished for these poor people. I want to say something here, that everybody should think about the poor person. Whenever you are eating and sleeping well, remember that poor person who doesn't have a place to sit and sleep. Remember when you are sitting in your nice homes, remember those people who do not have homes. And they call slums homes. And they go there and they live there and feed their children and take them to school from those places. When you are comfortable in your place, stop waking up and saying, oh, today I'm the government and I'm coming to save a situation, so I don't want anybody in this lane. I don't want anybody in this riparian land. I don't want anyone in these slums. You will be seen by God, because this is not the time to kill. This is the time to salvage and save. This is the time to go there with lorries full of food and rescue these people and give them food to eat. This is the time to go there with vehicles and correct these people and take them to centers where they can have food and care, where they can have somebody who tells them, okay, we love you and we understand you, where you can have them surely treated of diseases that they may be suffering during this rainy season. Actually, when I look at the situation at the moment, and I know that you will walk out there and you'll never meet anybody who ever gonna open their wallets and give you anything. Even if you stretch your hand to beg, people don't give anymore. Yet you are poor and you don't have. Have you ever met somebody while walking or while going about your businesses, and you meet somebody, and when you approach them, when you are meeting them, they are approaching you and you are approaching them, you see somebody try to kind of slow down or try to show like they want to speak to you. And because this is Nairobi and we know this is Nairobi, you don't want to speak to somebody that you don't know. And this happened to me actually this morning. As I was walking, doing my morning walk, I met a smart guy. He was smart because he was clean. He wasn't dirty. we call them chocolats, those that are dirty and with sniffing grooves and all that. But this guy was just a normal person wearing a yellow sweatshirt. But when I approached, as I was walking, when you are walking, you are minding your business. You are minding your business. But this guy was also coming towards the direction that I was. And when we met, just before we met, like a few steps before we met, so that we bypass each other, this guy went slow. I mean, reduced his walking speed and kind of held himself like this, and wanted to kind of speak to me. But because of the situation in Nairobi, you don't speak to everybody and anybody. So you'll try as much as possible to avoid somebody because you don't want to risk stopping to speak to somebody, and then he snatches your phone, or he attacks you in some way. You only want to speak to the person because you cannot go speaking to strangers on the streets. I bypassed that guy, and he also now proceeded and went. But when I bypassed him, I thought to myself, that guy may have been wanting to maybe speak to me. Maybe this guy saw me from a distance and said, okay, that madam is walking alone there. When I meet her, I'm going to stop her and maybe request for something or tell her something. So as I bypassed him, something spoke to my spirit, and it was like, oh, this guy must be having some need. Might he have wanted to tell me? And I felt like I wish I could have maybe reduced also my emotion so that he's able to speak to me. And it is like because I'm a walker. I walk every morning when there are no rains. I mind my business when walking. So I said, oh my God, in this life you may be having a need, but you don't get somebody who can listen to that need. Maybe this guy had slept a whole night without food, whereas I ate to satisfaction and slept. Maybe this guy did not even have shelter. Maybe this guy even wanted some bus fare to reach to some destination where maybe he can get help or some a daily bread. But I just I knew for sure that this guy wanted to approach me and speak to me, but I ignored this guy, and I'm like, oh my God, this is me who has done this. Is but how many times have we stood to listen to the needs of people? How many times have we met people that are needy out there and we don't even care? We just proceed and go on our business and go on and leave them alone. How many times have we done that? Do you walk out there and listen to people's needs even as they approach you? I felt very, very guilty, but there's nothing I could have done because actually, trying to also be good in this city and trying to maybe talk to people that you don't know will obviously make you regret. I can tell you for sure, because you are gonna find yourself in a situation where you're speaking to somebody who can maybe attack you or tell you bring that phone or bring people know that almost everybody carries a phone, and then you end up losing your phone, and you'll ask yourself, now why was I speaking to a stranger? So these things happen, and people are suffering out there. So I was thinking of those that are hungry from the slums, those that their homes were demolished by the same government that they voted for, those that were left out there in the cold, and they were never even asked by the government to follow them maybe to some secure place where they can find some shelter. Yet the same government is the one that demolished for them. Floods are everywhere in the country. The only thing we can do is to pray unto God to subside, to make the rain stop, so that the ground can dry. And did you hear that the soils are already saturated with water? Did you hear that the soils cannot contain any more water now because they are already oversaturated? Did you hear that now we are prone to landslides every minute, anytime, because of the saturation of water in the soils? The situation is very, very bad. And I'm doing this video even also from this place of work. This is my place of work where I sell denim. You are welcome to come and buy denim here, guys. Denim dresses, denim skirts, denim jackets, denim everything. We sell everything denim here. And I'm doing it here because this is also a place that has been affected by the same rains that are affecting everybody. You may wonder, is it raining? No, it's not raining in here. But the thing is, the businesses have been badly affected because there are no buyers, nobody to come and buy, because people out there are looking for something to eat. And the only thing that maybe a common man can afford is food. That extra money to go and buy clothes, like I sell clothes here, you find that people do not have that extra money. And I'm just thinking of a class of people that maybe you can say, oh, she's saying there's no money, and we are doing okay out here, we are doing okay. If you are amongst that group which is doing okay, thank God, because many people are not okay this particular season. And when I look at the weather right now, it's almost, this is what time? This is 1 o'clock in the day, but the rain is hanging like this. It's about to start falling, and everybody who is in Kenya knows that rains are starting to fall at exactly this hour, 1, 2, 3, and there's a heavy downpour in the late afternoons. And now, when did you do business? When did you do business? When did you even get time to even step out there and make some money? For those that are in business, those that are in permanent employment, guys, you are lucky, and you should thank God, because actually we who come to it on you people to come and buy from us, we just get there, we open up our businesses, and by the time we start now, sitting, settling to try and receive the customers, the rains comes, and you know very well that when the rains come, there's no business that can go on. So guys, there are many things that are happening. So what is the solution? What is the solution? The solution I don't have. But there is one thing that I know, that there is God in heaven. This God knows all our needs and knows us by name. Let us call upon this God so that God can protect us. And you, the government, don't go making the situation worse by attacking and even evicting and killing and, destroying humanity, by leaving them out there in the cold, simply because you are saying in this country we don't want somebody to build over some waterways, and they have been there for years, and you know very well they have been there. Okay, you may be thinking that you are saving, but I can tell you for sure that there are some people that are sleeping hungry, and many of them sleeping hungry because they don't have food to eat, yet they had that shelter that you have gone and demolished. They don't have anywhere else to go, and some people may not even have villages. Remember, in this city of Nairobi, those that are living in the slums sometimes found themselves just living in the slums, sometimes were brought up in the slums. Others do not even have parents, others do not even know their parents. They're just street children. They found themselves roaming on the streets. Sometimes the parents were killed, others maybe were abandoned by the parents, and you are there. The only place you know and call home is the streets. And I don't want to say that the government cannot do something about that. The government can do something about the slums also. But why wouldn't they act in good time, instead of just running and pretending to be helping when the situation has gone to this, has gone bad? Why wouldn't you go when the weather is good and the country is just running the normal months, where when there's no rains, and go and assist these people in the slums, maybe by removing them from there, or by giving them alternative shelters, or by giving them food, instead of waiting when there's a disaster like that which is there today, of floods, everybody crying and dying of floods, then you go and kill them all the more by demolishing their structures. It's very unfortunate. The government should think twice. So let us pray to God, because God is the only rescue that we have, so that he shows us what we are gonna do, because we need God in this situation, guys. We pray that God may reduce these rains, and that we may, we may have a good weather, and that we may continue operating in every situation, because nothing will work with these floods. So this is Never HTV. It was just a talk where we just share our, thinking loudly. So subscribe to this channel, and that is if you haven't, and hit the like button. Always like this video and many others that I've done before, and we'll see you in the next one.